Hey, Jen.
Hey, Dana. Welcome, everyone, to Hypnosis
and Beyond. We have such a great guest today, the lovely Lisa Peacocke. She is a master hypnotist, a life coach, and a corporate wellness specialist.
Hi, girls. Really excited to be here.
Thank you for joining us on Hypnosis and Beyond.
My pleasure. Lovely to be here.
So excited to see you sort of in person because I was lucky enough to share a room with you at Hypnothought. I couldn't have asked for a better roommate. And in doing that, I just wanted to let you know we're also honoring you today and your Irish heritage, if you've noticed.
Yeah.
We're on theme.
Very good. I didn't actually pick that up, so thank you.
There might be a couple of nerds on this podcast. We're not sure.
That's so funny. You were the greatest, roommate. I hardly saw you, Pet.
Only in the wee hours, as you'd say.
For sure.
So I'm so happy that you're here. And I would love to, if you could let the viewers know a little bit about your background and what led you to become a master hypnotist.
So I'll start right back. I guess I started my career in the corporate environment, working in sales and training and developing various roles with kind of blue chip companies through the years. And I decided to do coaching about 12 years ago and utilize that in all the various roles that I was part of. So that was a very great tool to have and utilize with the clients to help them move forward, and also for myself as well. But what I was finding was that, and you probably find this, girls, people have subconscious blocks. They'll say they want to do something, they're 110% committed to doing it, and then they just don't do it. So what happened was I looked into hypnosis many years ago, and I thought it was a wee bit woo-woo, actually. I was a wee bit skeptical of the whole thing. And as time progressed, I then came to notice that hypnosis was becoming more and more popular, kind of in social media. You were kind of seeing different articles about it and things like that. And I was actually working for a pain company at the time. I was programming spinal cord stimulators for chronic pain patients. And at the time, the consultant said to me, Lisa, if you ever know anyone who is able to do hypnosis, let me know, because it's fantastic for chronic pain. And I was like, really? I just couldn't get my head around this at all. Something so physical could be helped by something of the mind. But I looked into it and it kind of had planted a seed. And I decided to investigate it a little bit further. So there was a couple of reasons why I decided to investigate it, to help people move forward, and also because of what he'd said. Then I found myself in the unlucky experience of having breast cancer 4 years ago. And at the time, I thought, you know what, I'm actually going to look into this, because going through that experience, you're going to have various things happen to your body and also your mind at the time. It's a pretty complex thing. So I ended up with my own pain at the time and had decided I was going to be training in hypnosis. And I was so fortunate that I'd undertaken that journey, because it helped me incredibly on so many levels. Not only did it help me with the pain, but it really helped me to focus on still having a sense of control and power going through that journey. And I found myself then at the end of that journey feeling really empowered, and also thinking, now, what am I going to do? It really was the line in the sand for me. And I was like, do I go back into my corporate career, or do I now help other people be able to find those resources within themselves, no matter what their situation is, to help them move forward? And that's exactly what I did. I launched my own business, my Lisa Peacocke hypnotherapy and coaching business. And that was now just over 3 years ago. And I've managed to help many, many clients in that time. And I would say that I undertook an initial training, which was a great basis. But then I undertook a significant training in Toronto where I met yourself, Jen, and that was just a life-changing training, and taught me so much, so many valuable things to help me move forward. So that's kind of where it all started, and kind of the background as to how I got into using hypnosis myself and then using it to help other people be able to move forward and empower their lives as well.
So what would you say your focus is in your business, or is there a focus as far as what you're helping people with?
It's a really great question, Jen, because being a hypnotherapist, we tend to almost help every kind of problem that people have. But what I find is that anxiety seems to be the big thing that I tend to deal most with. And it underlies so many things that people deal with as well. Having clients come to you when they really are in that fight or flight situation, they going, right, okay, let's get you out of that. And let's help you to get rid of that negative to help you move forward to the positive, to the life that you truly want to live. So I would say that anxiety, stresses, whatever those things are, huge part of the business that I do. Yeah.
As far as anxiety goes, I was thinking when you were coming on today, why is it that so many people are anxious? Is it because we are dealing with more stress today, or is it because we are able to talk about it?
I mean, I think it's a combination of both, actually. I think that what can happen is whenever we think of anxiety, we get that feeling in our body. Your heart might be racing, you might get sweaty palms, you have these racing thoughts in your head. You're going round in a loop and you're thinking. And we can get trapped in that to future project to the negative because we are human beings and we have a negative bias. And the other thing that we do is we often get stuck in the past as well. So all of that combined keeps us in an anxious situation. And I would say that when we feel that in our body, we term that as anxiety, we term it as the negative. What I actually get my clients to do is actually look at it as excitement and reframe it as a positive. So, for example, I have a girl that I've been working with, and she would wake up at 5 every morning and she would be so anxious. She has to sleep in a separate room from her husband, actually. It's so bad because she'll just wake him up really early. And I said to her, okay, what can you now put in place in the morning first thing to help you turn that into a positive? So as soon as you feel those feelings, that's your excitement. Now what can you do? And she now has a morning routine of getting up and doing some exercise to actually burn off some of that excitement. And that really gives her the adrenaline to fire up, starting her day positively rather than it being anxiety and then it's a negative.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So we've discussed this before in person. The fact that you're from Northern Ireland, and actually I have family in Northern Ireland, and I've only heard about what the people have gone through there,
Yeah.
the regular everyday civilians, and what that life is like. I'm sure you're coming across some of these people as clients.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was growing up in Northern Ireland. I mean, I'm 50 years old now, and it was during the height of the Troubles. Everyone around the world has probably heard of the Troubles. And it was a very, very difficult time because we were living in constant fear of bomb attacks, fear of shootings, kneecappings, fear of these various factions warring against each other. And not a lot could be done about it. And my own family suffered at the hands of some of this as well, personally, and friends and relatives, etc. So it's something that's quite close to most people in Northern Ireland's heart. Um, but what I'm finding now and what I tend to be dealing with is my parents' generation. So people who are in their 70s, even their 80s, are coming to me with that PTSD because they had children during those times and they were just trying to. I mean, we all know what it's like, I think, to be parents. It's a pretty tough challenge. But when you're doing that in an environment where things are so tough, where you're not sure if your family's going to get through a day, you have to check under your car for bombs and stuff, and you're trying to bring a family up in that, you're in survival mode for that length of time to get your children up. And the troubles went on
Right.
significantly for a long time. So these people are now coming out of that or have come out of it and they're going, whoa, all of that stuff I can still feel inside. And they really are stuck in that kind of general anxiety disorder because with the PTSD, because they don't know any other way of thinking. They have been in it for so long, such a long time. So not only is it treating those people and helping them to let go of those negative spiraling mindset programs that they have in the back of their mind and moving forward to feel empowered, but also then their children. So their children will be my age and even younger. And what we find is then there's a huge amount of depression in Northern Ireland. I mean, the suicide rate for men here is significantly high because they were with parents who maybe didn't experience or get to experience real joy in their life. Everything was really difficult. Drudgery, poverty, fear, all of that combined for a very long period of time. meant that they then learnt the traits from their parents, which were very, very negative. And what we tend to find now is that there is, as I mentioned, a lot of depression in that age group here. People are still on fight or flight. Is it a learnt response from their parents? Yeah, I think so. And then that then goes on and about their children to the next generation. The good thing is, and what I'm finding, I'm sure you girls are now over there as well, is that there is so much more on social media that is very, very positive for people to try and reach out to help themselves, to understand what is actually happening, those mechanisms. And I feel that hypnosis now is having that resurgence to help those people to really leave that past and those past behaviors behind to move forward to the positive.
So, in working with these people, you're not just helping them, you're also helping their children and their children's children. So,
Yeah.
it really is never too late.
For sure. When you say that, Jen, the word generational and trauma just come to mind, literally.
Right.
And it isn't too late. I mean, I love working with people in their 70s and 80s because I'm like, I mean, these people could be around for a significantly long time yet. Appropriate to enjoy the rest of your life and make that choice now that no matter what age you are, whatever you have been through in the past, that you can change it and make the choice now to change it. And I think that is so, so powerful.
Yeah, that just gives everybody hope.
Yeah.
And is that when you be working with these people, is there a certain amount of sessions that it would take to help get somebody through a breakthrough, for lack of a better word?
Yeah. I mean, I generally work with people on a 2 session package for the clearing in the first
Wow.
session, which is absolutely phenomenal. And when I'm doing that, I don't even need to know what those events are. We don't even need to talk about them, for them to come back in the prefrontal cortex and relive that experience. And is getting rid of those feelings, images, emotions, sensations that no longer serve them in a way that is easy, where they're protected and in control and it feels right for them. So it's a really lovely process as opposed to something that should be feared. And then I'm starting to help them put in all the good stuff about how they really want to feel every day, how they want to be happy, healthy, and moving forward with a life of enjoyment as opposed to fear. And then in the second session, we'll do a little bit more clearing if we need to, but that's really about compounding and really empowering them to move forward. At the end of those 2 sessions, I then give the client a call a couple of weeks later, and it's always up to the client at that point because they will know if we need to do another session. And that's generally how I work with people. So it's not lots and lots of sessions at all. It really is a couple of sessions, and that will change your life.
That's great. Well, moving on to another area that you want to focus on right now, particularly because you've been in a corporate environment and know that there are a lot of challenges in the environment,
Yeah.
especially what you're telling me as far as being a single mom and being the sole breadwinner and having to have that pressure on you. From what I understand, you have a package now that you want to bring to corporate structures to help people with stress in their environment.
Yeah, so it's really coming back to my grassroots. I worked in the corporate environment for 20 odd years and I understand the complexities within that environment. The pressures are significant. It's a massive, in terms of commerce, it's all about productivity and the bottom line at the end of the day, it's a business. And unfortunately, a few things can happen along the way to employees. We have something called absenteeism. When you have colleagues that are off sick due to stress or anxiety, that pressure then falls on the people that are still there, having to do extra work in order to still help the company survive and do exactly what they need to do for their clients. And then we also have something called presenteeism, and that's basically when somebody is feeling that stress and anxiety and they're still coming to work, when in fact they probably should be off, having a rest and looking after themselves. And again, your colleagues are going to experience, perhaps you'll have a short temper, perhaps you'll be feeling, not up to par, making mistakes. And it's everyone around you that has to kind of feel that. And then the third and final big thing is that people are getting sick. People are having to take time off work because of burnout, because of stress, because they just don't feel good in themselves and they don't have the tools necessarily to do anything about that because the rat race that is the corporate world is so fast and furious that it's difficult to stop. I mean, I can't remember the exact figure, but significant amounts of employees do not take all their annual holidays every year. And I just find that really, really sad. That impacts their kids, their partners, whoever in their family, but most importantly, their health. So yeah, I now have a stress and anxiety management workshop that I now deliver to corporate companies, and it's a really engaging workshop. So it's not me standing there at the front going through a presentation. It's about getting the employees involved and teaching them the skills of actual self-hypnosis as well, so that they can then utilize that to help them deal with whatever those scenarios are, those stressors are every single day. But not only that, but they can teach that and help their own friends and family utilize those resources as well. So it's just about expanding what I do out to an even bigger crowd and helping many, many more people.
Lisa, something that really rings through in everything you've said this entire time is it seems like what underlies everything is your desire to make people feel empowered. I feel like at the base of everything that you've described, of people living through the troubles, of you facing cancer yourself, of people living with anxiety and stress, just all of these other factors in the world. And it sounds to me like, your coaching, your hypnosis, you're trying to really make people understand they are in control, and they have the power to view their lives, the way they want to. And you're giving them the tools to do that. And I just think that's really incredible.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic experience. The one thing that I maybe on that I find a little bit tricky at the start was have this skill set that you want everyone to kind of utilize and learn from and help empower their lives. We also have to be very mindful that not everybody is able to do that yet. They have to be at the right position themselves to want that help and to make those changes. And sometimes it can take people a little bit longer to come to that realization that there is actually something that they can do. But yeah, absolutely, Dana, it's just about empowering people to move forward, to literally live their healthiest, happiest life.
That's amazing. I wonder whether you might share with our viewers a little technique that you do in your practice, if you might be willing to guide us
Yeah,
through
for
that.
sure. So girls, are you both ready to do this little technique? And for anyone listening as well?
And Jen, of course, is usually our safety police here to let everybody know if they're driving.
Not while driving.
Okay.
It's not a technique to
Not a
do while
problem.
driving.
Not a problem. So, girls, if you just are ready, if you just make sure that you're sitting comfortably and your feet are uncrossed, and just let your hands rest in your lap or by your side. So, just make sure your hands aren't touching. And I want you just to allow your eyes to close when you're ready and take a nice big deep breath. If you can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, just really nice and slow and deeply. As slow and deep as you can possibly go. That's it. And as you're breathing in, just notice how your chest rises. And as you breathe out, just notice how your chest falls again. And notice the sensation of that surface beneath you and whether it's pushing up against you or are you pushing down against it. And really just allow yourself this time to just relax. And as you breathe in, I want you just to imagine a color that you would associate with calmness, peace, and tranquility. And as you breathe in, imagine breathing the air in that is this color and allowing that peace and tranquility and calm to move to all the cells of your body. And it really doesn't matter what color you choose. It could be bright or soft, deep or clear, any or none, because it's your color and it can change or not stay the same as you allow yourself to choose peace and calm. And as you breathe out, I want you to imagine that the air is a different color, a color that you would associate with any stress, any tension, or unwanted thought. And as you breathe out, just imagine that the air is this color, taking away any stress or tension far, far away from you now. So just breathing in calm, peace, and tranquility. And breathing out any stress or tension or unwanted thoughts far, far away from you now. And I don't know just how soon you allow yourself the luxury of being totally peaceful. Maybe right now, or soon, or some time ago. But it really doesn't matter exactly when you choose complete calmness and relaxation. And when you feel that you have reached that level of relaxation that feels good to you, you can simply allow your eyes to open and come back to now.
That was incredible.
Amazing.
I
Yeah.
feel so good. And you have just a beautiful voice, of course.
Thank you. You're very good
Such
subjects,
a
girls.
beautiful accent.
Thank you. Thank you. Enjoyed it. I used it with clients initially in a session, actually, just when they come in, they could be quite anxious. And I just get them to start with that little breathing technique.
Wow.
And I really like how you were talking about the fact that things can be content free.
Yeah.
You didn't tell us what color to choose.
Yeah.
The only instruction really was breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth and slowly. Other than that, you really left it up to our imagination. And I would gander that Jennifer and I had different colors. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's neat because I could see you doing that with a group.
Yeah.
You could do that with an individual.
Yeah.
That's a very versatile strategy.
Yeah. It's really good, girls. Yeah.
So we have a fun segment that we like to do on our show, and it is called the silly subconscious question. And we're just going to, it's very meant to be very silly, and for you to say the first answer that comes to your mind.
Okay.
So our silly subconscious question for you, Miss Lisa Peacocke,
Uh-huh.
is if you were to choose an item that is not an article of clothing and you were to make it into an outfit and really rock it,
Mm-hmm.
what would it be?
A lampshade.
Nice.
I can see that.
Nice. I
I
love
can
it.
see that.
I love it. That would be, you could really rock that.
I'm looking forward to seeing you in your social media with a lampshade on.
Depending on
Yeah.
the event, it could be a smaller or larger lampshade. Colors, patterns, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a great answer.
Thank you.
There really are some gorgeous lampshades out
There
there.
really
You
are.
could-
It's almost like I should have been a designer or something.
Right. That's right. The Peacock line.
There you go. The peacock
Of
lampshade.
You've got the
lampshade.
name for it.
The peacock
Yeah,
lampshade.
Peacock lampshade.
Yeah. Now, that could be versatile and that could be good. Now, Halloween's just gone, girls. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's all right. That's right. Everybody wants a New Year's Eve, something
Yeah.
gorgeous for New Year's Eve party.
There you go. Yeah.
And that leads us to our beyond question.
Okay.
What are some passions or interests that you have that people may not know about you?
So I sing in a choir. I sing in a choir with 80 women. So I joined a choir and it has been an absolutely fantastic experience. Part of the reason was actually when you're working as a hypnotherapist or a coach, you're working on your own all the time. So this was a great way for me to start networking with other people who like doing what I do. And the choir consists of 80 women, as I said, from ages probably 30 up to about 80, massive range of ages. And everyone is just so positive and nice. And the social aspect is fantastic. We're doing lots of concerts coming up to Christmas. We're actually going to the old people's homes to sing as well, to give them a little bit of something special, which is just a lovely thing to do and give them something back as well. And girls, do either of you sing?
I've just started to sing with my guitar, actually, really
Wow.
badly,
Okay.
but I
I'm
love
sure it's lovely. What about you?
Well, I love to sing in the shower. I have gotten up at karaoke a couple of times, but no one's ever asked me to do it a
Yeah.
second time.
Like
So I
karaoke girls. Now that could be a good little podcast. The other thing that I do, believe it or not, is still roller skating on proper
nice.
skates. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's quite a funny story actually. But last year, I used to when I went to university in Belfast to Queen's, and the girl I shared a house with for 3 years, we'd gone to the grammar school together as well. And we've remained friends ever since. And she was always really into sport as well as I was. And she was like, "I started roller skating, Lisa. Would you like to try it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." Okay, so I got my roller skates and knee pads, elbow pads, helmet, because I wouldn't have wore those when I was a teenager growing up or a kid. But now, because you just don't want to get that accident, do you? You wear them. And there's a place called the Titanic Quarter in Belfast where they have the Titanic Museum, and it's all flat. And there's a massive group of people that meet there every Wednesday night, and it's just a phenomenal experience as well. So we have rollerbladers, roller skaters, which I am, and then we have skateboarders as well. So it's a really great thing to do.
Wow. I'm so excited to come and visit you and
Yeah,
go roller skating.
yeah,
That is a shared passion.
yeah. Oh, you
Wow.
do it too.
It's our age group too,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, didn't you roller skate, Dana?
Oh yeah. Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah, it was a big thing when we were kids.
I would probably skateboard.
Okay, so we have the roller skating, skateboarding, karaoke night coming up then.
Yeah,
Okay, why not?
yeah.
Boom.
Living it up.
Dressed with lampshades.
I'm in.
Yeah, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, can visualize that, girls. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Well, Lisa, I know everybody's going to be wanting to look you up after this amazing, that color breathing alone. I can't wait to look you up. Could you share with everybody what's the best way to find you?
So I do have a website which is www dot and then it's be dash a dash better dash u.co.uk. So it's be a better you.co.uk with dashes in between. Because you can also email me at Lisa Peacocke with an E at the end at gmail.com.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Hypnosis and Beyond today. And if you liked this content, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share with a friend. And with that, what do we always say?
Thanks again and peace
Peace
out.
out.
Peace out.